Psychic Academy. Welcome. This is Academy Talk. I am Ivy Rivera, psychic medium, coming to you from Buffalo, New York at the Academy, where we are raising up the next generation of light workers. So we welcome everyone internationally to join us here for classes. For a full lineup, you can visit www.ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. See what's being offered. You can Skype in, FaceTime. The classes are becoming downloadable. And we have 2 franchises opening up this summer, one in California, one in Pennsylvania. So check it out. I'm here today with Christina Del Rey, astrologer and tarot reader also. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being with us. Now, we love this show. We've decided to do this once a month. To help you guys out, we bring Christina on and she's able to read for every astrology sign, right? What is coming up for them for that month. But we also talk about some other interesting details that are super important and highly overlooked, like eclipses, full moons, blue moons,
There's always something exciting going on.
Retrograde.
Yes, retrograde is our big deal.
Yeah, so there's always something in addition to your sign and what's happening for that month that you really need to pay attention to, understand how to navigate. So I'm happy that we got you here the very first day of the month, right? So welcome to March. And you guys can also send in your questions. We try to take the questions all hour long as frequently as we possibly can. We jump back and forth between Instagram, Facebook, so you want to post them in the comments. And then I'm also taking them through text. If you need that extra privacy, you don't want everybody seeing your business or your name, you can text it in to me. We put the number up above, but I'll give it to you one more time, 716-602-1391. And we do appreciate you guys publicly posting them as much as possible. I will answer with my psychic mediumship perspectives, and Christina will come at you with astrology, which means they need to post what, their birthday, or at least their...
They could post their sun sign, and if you know your rising sign, that would be helpful as well.
Okay, very good. All right, so your sun and your rising if you know it. All right, good. And if you have no idea what you are, put your birthday down. She'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right, so why don't we get started? What exactly is going on this month with other things?
Okay, well, happy birthday to Aries. This is, the beginning of, a couple weeks in, we'll have Aries month, so that's exciting. But this is a special month because it's a blue moon month. So a blue moon, hence the saying, like once in a blue moon, is when you have 2 full moons in 1 month. So it makes it a very highly emotional month, especially since we came off of February with no full moon. So now we have 2. So if you've been feeling very tense energies the last couple of days, today actually is the full moon in Virgo, and so it's been very tense. There's been a lot of tense energy, but today's pretty much it. So it should hopefully get better from here on out. But this full moon is about, full moons in general are about completions, they're about culminations, and sometimes endings. So we're also this one is at 11 degrees in numerology.
Okay.
That is a master number. So that is
11, right.
So it's like the higher mind, higher consciousness. So basically, we're worried about, it stands across, this full moon stands across the sky from Neptune. Okay. And basically what it's going to be doing is it's a wake-up call between your illusions and reality. So if you've had a wake-up call in the past couple days or maybe today, it's forcing you to look at what's real, what's not real. Maybe in your relationships, maybe in friendships, partnerships, wherever you're kind of living an illusion, it's going to kind of bring that little piece of reality, maybe that's, not exactly what I thought.
Has this been happening leading up to today,
the
last week or so?
Yeah, because it's been pretty intense, so I felt it a couple days ago, so yeah. Also this month what we have is Jupiter going retrograde.
I don't like that word.
Retrograde just means basically that it appears that the planet is going backwards when you look at it from Earth. And typically what that does to the energy is it puts it like internally, like we internalize the energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing, it's just different. And we feel the shift.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Jupiter retrograde, we'll begin to look at our faith and beliefs, because that's what Jupiter is all about. What we want, and what we need to be clear about what we want, and why we want it, and if it's for the right reasons. So that'll help us, internalize that. We also are coming up on Mercury retrograde.
Mercury retrograde.
And that's always a
Okay, can I ask something real quick?
Yes.
When I hear these different planets doing different things, I'm never certain whether or not everyone's going to be affected, or only certain signs are really going to be affected.
When the planets go retrograde, pretty much everybody's affected. However, some will be affected more than others, especially somebody who, like you, who has Mercury ruling their chart. So Mercury retrograde is going to be something that you would feel more deeply probably than somebody like me who doesn't really have a strong Mercury. So depending on what planets it hits, things like that.
Okay.
So it's different every time, but typically, like Gemini is ruled by Mercury.
Geminis,
yeah,
Virgos are ruled by
exactly.
Mercury, so we would feel the
we
retrograde.
feel them a little bit more intensely than others.
Who would be hit by Jupiter the most?
Sagittarius, because they're ruled by Jupiter, but also pretty much everybody will feel a little bit of it. So, and the Mercury retrograde is basically when Mercury goes retrograde, you're not starting anything new. You are redoing, revamping, just redoing something, not beginning things.
Okay.
Expect to hear from people from your past sometimes too with Mercury retrograde. Mercury's communication. Things kind of get tied up, like sometimes, lines get crossed, and computers go down, and things like that.
Oh yes.
You always want to plan ahead.
Computers go down.
You always want to plan ahead for those things, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. So this month, 2 full moons.
We have a new moon as well,
And a new moon.
New moons are typically new beginnings. So that's when new cycles begin. So anything that you start around a new moon, that's a good thing to do, is starting that new energy.
When is that?
Oh, I'll let you know for each sign here.
Oh, I see. Okay, interesting. So that's a good start. So basically, in a nutshell, a lot of things ending. And that's what I've noticed from my client base and people around me, and a little bit in my life. I'm actually doing a lot of new beginnings, but I would say that this past week there's been a lot of endings, a lot of emotional responses, a lot of people feeling like I'm done with this, or I have to move on, or this isn't working anymore, and then feeling a little shaky on those decisions, like maybe they're coming from an emotional response versus what would actually be best.
Right, and that's another thing too. We have a lot of planets in Pisces right now. It's very dreamy energy, but it's also very emotional energy.
Very emotional.
So people have been very emotional lately.
Yes.
So that's going to last for a little bit longer. But it is tough, because then this new moon, or this full moon, is coming in and saying, no, this is reality. So a little bit of a reality check there. So, but yeah, this is a tough time because everybody's very emotional right now.
Yeah.
With all those planets in place.
A lot of tears, a lot of people drowning in their tears. Okay, so we want to just kind of keep that in perspective. Let's try not to be ruled by our emotions. Okay, try to stay logical. Sometimes you just have to wait things out a little while longer.
Yes.
Things look clear.
And
check your perspective. Check with other people. Check with someone who seems more stable.
Right. And that's the thing. You always want to get like a second opinion.
Yeah, get a second opinion on yourself there.
That's right.
Okay. So we want to get started again. I am taking questions through text. If you need that privacy, if you don't, please just post it in the comments. But if you need the privacy, is the phone number up there? Okay, 716-602 phone number. Go ahead, text your question in. And then we'll be taking them from the comments, and we'll get rolling here in a minute. But we want to get to each sign. So what does each sign have going on this month? Why don't we do 2, and then we'll take a few questions. You want to do it that way?
Sure.
Okay.
First we have Aries. The month starts out with a full moon in the 6th house of organization. So Aries are going to be organizing, getting their daily life and health details on track. So it's health too. So you want to get all your ducks in a row there. On March 6th, Venus moves into Aries, your 1st house, which means you get bold and confident in areas of how you feel about yourself, especially as a lover or a partner. So you get a little more bold. It's moving
More
around.
bold.
Mhm.
Aries.
Yeah, I know they're bold.
Just
Anyway,
when you thought they
right?
couldn't take it any further.
March 8th, Jupiter stations retrograde in the 8th house, which could have you reflecting upon secrets from the past, but it will be rewarding. March 17th, the new moon is in your spiritual zone. This will have you moving in the next level of your spiritual journey. It could even have you like in touch with your psychic abilities, so psychic abilities to be strong right now for Aries. Pay attention to your dreams. On the 22nd, Mercury stations retrograde until April 15th. So they have the 22nd to the 15th. And for Aries, it's going to be in the 12th house. So there might be some confusions about messages from spirit or you just psychic moments. So like reflect on those, see what the messages are. The universe is telling you to revisit your connection to spirit. So that's for Aries.
I love that.
Yeah. Venus connects with Uranus on the 28th with a surprise in a relationship. Could be a nice surprise. And the 31st is the second full moon that will bring a new direction or a new start to a relationship in your life.
And that's all Aries.
All Aries.
Okay.
And then we have Taurus. So
A
March.
lot of Tauruses I know right now are going through some change.
Yes. And they're going to be, I think Taurus is a highlight on relationships this year, so there's going to be like a key thing going on with them. March begins with a full moon in the 5th house of creativity and fun. So look forward to flirting, romantic relationships, or a creative project to come to a culmination. A new cycle to begin in that area. Your relationship area is highlighted this year. Venus moves into the 12th on March 6th. This might have you connecting to your spiritual side, searching for your soul purpose. Jupiter retrograde on the 8th and in your 7th will have you reflecting on relationships and where you are truly blessed in that area. Someone from the past could re-enter. You might decide if that person is worth keeping around or not. You might struggle with that idea. On the 17th, the new moon in Pisces could have you making new contacts, connecting with groups in a helpful or humanitarian way. Mercury stationing retrograde on the 22nd, so be careful of like signing things, committing permanently to any groups that you might be helping. Do not sign anything until after the 15th of April. Venus conjunct Uranus in Aries might bring a surprise you were not expecting. Look out for hidden enemies. So you want to watch out for that. March 31st, the full moon in the 6th house of health and wellness in daily life. Expect an emotional culmination in that area. Your eyes might be open to what needs to change.
Wow, that's intense. Okay, so that's an intense month for Taurus with a lot of potential for change and accepting some new things. Okay, that's exciting. That's depth. I love your readings because there's detail here. You know, sometimes it's hard to, understand exactly what people are trying to tell you. That was amazing. Okay, well, good luck to you guys this month. We are here to support you. Okay, we love you. And Aries, welcome to the Academy. Come in and explore some of that spiritual development. It sounds like it's a great opportunity for them. I love that. I don't see them sort of in that light most of the time. So that's a really interesting place for Aries to be. Now, do we have questions coming through here? Because I have some coming through this way too.
Yes.
All right, so why don't I'll get this one out of the way and then I'll start going over to here to you guys, okay? We have, I'm trying to see if they said a Gemini. All right, a Gemini texting in, a well-known psychic medium sees a stock market crash coming very soon. Should I be concerned with my IRA or is it not as bad as her vision is seeing? Okay, and that's for Gemini. I'm feeling like it's not that bad. I feel a dip and then I feel a rise. So I don't know a ton about the stock market, but I'm assuming that that's fairly normal. The impression that I'm getting from it is that it's going to be okay and that dip itself is not really as big as you thought or that she predicted that it would be. I think other people will see harder hits than you will. And I think maybe you've had harder hits than what you're even going to have. It feels to me like a little bit of a bump in the road. And I want to say, what was it, self-manifesting prophecies, okay, things like this. you wanna really not feed it with like a negative mindset. So I want to say that the lesson in this for you might be to take things kind of with a grain of salt. You know, you're watching, but you're really expecting the best. So manifest that for yourself. What are you getting?
I think that the astrologer or whoever they're talking about might be talking about Uranus going into Taurus. So there have been some talk about the stock market possibly not being so stable. So it is a possibility. I think that it will ultimately rebound though. So, you know, in the long term, I think it will be fine, but, you know, it depends on how much money you have in there and how safe you want to play it. So it is possible. I know what they're talking about, and it is a possibility.
Okay. Yeah, the other thing that I'm getting with that is that you have some time to make some decisions. Yes. Okay, so again, I don't understand exactly how the stock market works, but the way it feels is almost like if that were to dip and then go back up, you could move. I feel like you could move things, you could make some kind of changes around that time. I don't feel that there's a great need for a shift at the moment though with that. Would you agree with that, or do you feel like you gotta get that out?
I would, you know, use your intuition, but also be smart about it. If you are looking to, you know, if you're looking to cash in on those things soon, then it might be different if you have a long time to, you know, if you're staying in it for the long term, you'll probably be fine. You want to gauge, yeah, you want to gauge that.
Yeah. Okay. Great question. And then we have some coming from Facebook, yes. I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay.
Valerie is a Pisces. She says things have been kind of rough in all aspects. Been a rough year for her in general, hoping that this year will be a better one, just wanting any insight into how it's going to go.
Okay, so Valerie is a Pisces, and she said she's had a rough year,
yep.
And she wants to know if we see anything more positive coming, or warnings, or whatever. What I'm getting with you, Valerie, is that at this point, you might be a little tired, and I have your perspective over here to the future being one of almost like mercy, like please God, you know, like instead of it really being energized. We were talking with the last person about manifestation, law of attraction. I think that you need a bit of a retreat or a spiritual retreat. I feel like you need to rejuvenate, and you need to sort of get that upper hand on your energy. Biblically, you know, it's referred to as like singing in the valley. So make sure that you're still finding joy, you're staying in the present moment. What I feel coming though from outside of you are two different progressions. One that would be coming within the month. I keep seeing one, so that could be as soon as a week, but it could be like 1 week or 1 month. Connected to a male energy who would also have some kind of a say in the prosperity in your life. And the second one feels to me like it's coming from younger energy. So whether this is like, you know, your children or some more younger people, youthful people, I feel playful, I feel energetic, I feel opportunity for almost like travel and adventure, and I do see a bit of an increase in money that will lead to stability. So it seems to me like where your mindset needs to be for the next 3 to 4 months is really all about putting away everything that you get, put it away, put it away, put it away, plan for the future so that you can breathe easier down the road. What are you getting with her?
Yeah, I think that once we're out of Pisces season 2 and the planets move out, I think that she'll start feeling a little bit better with the different energies. Pisces very much feels like the real world is not their place. Like they feel better in the spirit world or in the, you know, in the, I don't know, in the imagination, or, you know, not in the ethereal world. So I feel like once there's more grounding energies, she'll feel better, and there are better things to come for Pisces. They might have had it bad for a while, but it should be better.
When does that happen?
Well, I think this month she'll start feeling better.
Oh, this month. Oh, so, good.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll do.
Yeah.
All right. We have another one?
Yes. Raph is a Taurus, and he says his rising is Leo. Just wondering what's in store this month.
Leo.
So Rafe is a Taurus with a Leo rising.
No, we'll definitely get to Leo later. But you know, but like we said, there's very much going on for relationships for him, because if he's Taurus, he's already got the focus on the relationships, and the Leo right now could be a triangle situation. going on with Leo rising.
What does that mean?
You know, there could be like, you know, there could
Three
be
people?
3 people, you know, like, you know, jealousy issues, things like that. So, watch out for that. Could be towards the beginning of the month. But there's a lot of exciting relationship stuff going on, dramatic as well. And you know, Leo rising would probably love the drama of it. So,
What do you feel with him with work transition? Because I'm just gonna go over here to that, and then we'll touch back with you. When I'm going over here with your work, what I'm feeling is a bit of a need to push some things off to the side for a while and refocus your energy. I feel like you need to have some wins. I feel like you need to have some good, strong hits. And if you don't get something sort of working in your favor, it's almost a sense of you burning out. So I want to say where you're looking to direct the change is in your common everyday prosperity. Okay, so possibly some work change going on there that's needed. What you put on the shelf, though, I don't think you should look at it in terms of completely eliminating it. It's something you want to incorporate back within the next like 4 months, but there seems to be a lot of a need for like nose to the grind right now. So,
and that would make total sense with Leo rising. They would have to work really hard right now because Saturn's in their house of work. So it would be like it would be like a strict boss, or you know, following the rules to the T. So that would
following the rules to a T, yeah. Mainstream every day, following the rules. And isn't Saturn about restriction?
Yes, that pays off later.
That pays off later on your prosperity later on, which would be a good time to then take that back down off the shelf. Okay, and incorporate it into your life. Nose to the grind for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have another one?
Yes. Crystal Lynn is a Leo. She wants to know, what can I look forward to in the next 6 months? Will I be gaining anything, or will my relationship ever get better?
That's a lot of questions all in one. So Crystal Lynn is a Leo.
Yes.
And then she's asking about everything, work, and then relationships. Okay, let me just, hold on. I immediately got a headache, and it's coming over here on the right side of my head, which is all about right brain thinking. So if you're not using enough of your right brain, and most of us aren't, then you're going way too logical. You're thinking too much with the left side of your brain. And as spirits come in to deliver messages to you and give you guidance, and as your higher mind is kicking in, all of that's happening on the right side of your brain. If you are not processing that information, you don't know the language, you're not taking enough time to meditate or allow for these messages to come through, you're going to have a buildup of energy right there on the right side of your brain. When I'm looking at the relationship situation, that's primarily what I'm feeling, is that you're either not following your gut, you've been given enough evidence, you're thinking about it too logically. There's an element missing here that you need to re-examine. So reconnect with yourself, your guides, your higher powers, and make some changes that need to be had.
Yeah, and immediately I got like, I think that there's going to be a new person entering, and possibly, you know, she may decide, you know, the relationship that she's currently in is not working for her. There is a lot going on with relationships with Leos, deciding whether or not, you know, if they're going to stay, if they're going to go. So
no kidding. We have to get on to Leo, which is going to be a minute, right? Because I think that's a few more sides down. Okay, so interesting stuff with you, but primarily out of all the things that you said, that's what stands out. Okay, so some changes need to be made. Now, and I will say this, we have a great class here called Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting. It is downloadable, or you can come in and join us. The next one coming up is in April. It's up on the website. But in that class, we talk a lot about how relationships are the core for every other area of prosperity in your life. So it may not make logical sense, but it is the case. Okay, thank you for your question. So let's move on to 2 more signs. What's next?
we have Gemini. The new moon on the 1st, the full moon on the 1st, happens in your 4th house of family, real estate, or home. So expect a culmination or a cycle to peak or an ending there. On the 4th, Mercury meets with Venus in Pisces. Look for synchronicity from messages from Spirit. So that's coming up this week. Mercury shifting signs always affects you. And in the 6th, it's going into to Aries. Make sure that you're making you able to communicate messages boldly. not that it's a problem for you.
That's mostly a problem, man.
It's going into your groups and acquaintances, even hooking, so groups and acquaintances and even hooking into the internet, that's gonna be good, so take advantage of that. Venus moves into Aries, so be bold. Okay, so you could meet somebody on an app. This might be a good time to meet somebody on the internet. Take advantage. Mercury square Saturn on the 11th could be a frustration with any legal or long distance matter. Jupiter, stationing retrograde in your 6th house, has you reflecting on how to make your day-to-day life more efficient and enjoyable. You may revisit when you were the healthiest in the past and come up with a plan to be more healthy in your day-to-day life. So that's something you're reflecting on.
Yeah.
A new moon in your 10th house, so that the new moon is the new cycle. You could be opening some doors in the area of career and status. However, Mercury will be retrograde on the 22nd, so in the same area. So do not sign any agreements until the 15th of April. Until then, review, reassess. March 31st brings the full moon into your 5th house. So an emotional culmination could be in your fun house involving a romance or even a child. It could also have to do with a creative project. So somewhere in that area, you're gonna have an emotional high, some kind of culmination there. A cycle will complete or it will come to a high point.
Okay. Interesting.
A lot of stuff there.
Well, it's funny you say it that way because I'm redesigning the website.
Yeah.
Things like that. So that would make some sense.
Yeah, so this is the perfect time for it. Of course, you probably felt the energy right when Mercury is shifting. So, yeah, that'll be great for you. And hooking into the internet.
Hooking into the internet.
Having to do with your status. And, you know what I mean? So, like, it really kind of affects all of that for you.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful.
Okay, great.
And next we have Cancer. So Cancer is very affected by the full moons and the new moons.
Right.
So they're very, now your Cancer sun. So it is something that they feel very, they have the moodiness. So they're more sensitive than other signs to this.
I've been feeling something's wrong.
Yeah, it's like
you randomly, like, I don't know, trouble sleep, waking up and wondering is something wrong, is something going on, you're waiting for the other shoe to fall.
A little anxiety.
Yeah, a little anxiety.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2 full moons makes for an emotional month for Cancer. The first starts in the house of communication and siblings. There might be a message for you or something you hear from a sibling that comes to a culmination. Around the 6th, Venus moves into the 10th, house of career and status. This might make you feel good about your career and just make that area of your life feeling a little bit more pleasant, feeling a little more warm about it. Jupiter stations retrograde in the 5th house of fun, romance, and creativity. You might look into something that you did in the past to revive more fun and adventure, trying to have more fun, just focusing on fun. The new moon on the 17th happens in the adventure zone, so you might want to make travel plans or itching to do something adventurous. A lot of Cancers are making plans to go somewhere warm or go somewhere. Don't resist the energy. Mercury stations retrograde in your career zone, so be careful about finalizing plans until after the 15th of April. The last full moon, 31st, might have an emotional culmination around your family and home. So that's very important because that's what Cancer is all about, is family and home. So you want to pay attention to that last full moon. Just see what's going on, feel it out, use your intuition.
3 kids, there's always something going on. Okay, interesting, good. All right, now we have some coming through here, and then I have some here. So why don't I take 2 from you and a couple from here?
So probably just in general, a couple people mentioned, a Pisces and a Leo mentioned heightened anxiety. It seems to be a trend, and then any kind of relief that's going to be coming up. So that's 2 different people did ask that. It seems to be a trend today.
For me, I think that the Virgo energy is inciting I actually had an anxiety attack yesterday, and I haven't had one in years. So I think it was just a tension going on in the with the full moon. There was an aspect, and I think there was some tension with that Virgo energy. I think it's gonna pass though. I don't think
it's a Virgo full moon, or it's a Virgo
yeah,
what
it's
does
a
Virgo
Virgo full moon. So that there was definitely for me there was anxiety. I'm a Leo too, so I definitely felt the anxiety. I had to meditate before I came today. A lot of anxiety in the air, just a lot of energy. There was a Mercury and Mars square, so that was also very tense and anxiety sort of energy going right along in tandem with this full moon. So yes, you have to take a moment and ground yourself, try to get rid of it.
What I'm feeling with that question too is something similar to what I feel I've been experiencing. I'm a Cancer Gemini cusp, and I have Gemini in rising and moon and everywhere else pretty much. So what I've been experiencing is a lot of anxiety too, not all of it really coming from me. So people with a lot of empathic ability or people that are very intuitive, you could be over absorbing other people's stuff. And I think on a regular basis, you want to check and assess yourself. What's really yours and what belongs to other people, and clear it out of your energy field on a couple times a day, even right now.
I would say cord cutting too.
Yeah, cord cutting.
Because I had to cut a cord today.
Did you?
Yeah, definitely.
Jeez.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Well, I posted the relationships on Facebook, the relationships, boundaries, and cord cutting class today, and I got a lot of
Perfect
response.
timing.
A couple other people mentioned they
Perfect
cut
timing,
cords.
because the full moon is the end, and people are sensing that an end needs to come.
Right.
And you know, clipping that cord.
Good riddance.
Really important.
Let it go.
Really
you know,
important
yeah.
for the new cycle.
That's good. Okay. So let me see. We have one coming through here from a Capricorn. I'm having stress in my relationship. Will there be relief or clarity this month? Okay. This month. That's the fun thing about relationships, right? Is they don't really kind of work on your command as much. But this month, we want to find out if there are any openings. Maybe we can manipulate this the way they want it to go. Stress in the relationship. Well, I would have liked to have had the name of the person. So if you guys are asking about somebody else, someone you're in a partnership with, something like that, try to also give me the name. Let me see what I'm getting with this though. I'm feeling like there's some open doors. I almost feel like with this person, it's gonna sound bad, but it almost feels like you have to kind of catch them off guard. Like this person has a certain way of behaving. They have a way of putting up a wall or making you think one thing. Almost like a presentation that isn't completely authentic. And I feel like you catch them off guard and you sort of catch them with their pants down, so to speak. And you have a way, and it feels to me like it's like the third week of the month. And then you're saying something to them, you're like pointing it out, and they're really kind of vulnerable at that point. So then that forces truth and communication. And then you can make your decision about what needs to happen. That seems to bring resolution one way or another, based on free will, of course, but yeah, what do you think?
There's definitely stressful communications going on for Capricorn right now. They have some things going on. So I would say take a breath before you say something and really think about it. Maybe, take a couple deep breaths, a couple steps back, meditate a little bit. But yeah, there's some stressful stuff going on with Capricorn. Pluto is also in Capricorn, which insights change depending on what's going on in the chart. So it could be a stressful month because the two full moons, but use that new moon energy to start a new cycle. Decide what you're going to. New moon is a good time to make goals, so decide where you're going to put your energy to help the relationship or help your emotional state.
I like how you say that, like helping the relationship. It doesn't feel like a completely type of a situation, but more of a confrontation. And sometimes people just need to have some exposure. Something needs to shake it up so that you can get up to the next level. So it does feel like this month is providing that atmosphere. So that's good. What you do with it, of course, is up to you, but yeah, absolutely. I also feel with this person, like, there's some sense of really wanting to work that out. I don't know if I want to say remorse exactly, but there's some sense of like, oh wow, I'm seeing that clearly. I am going to try and put in the effort, and I think you should take that into consideration for sure. Anything else on that one?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to Capricorn. What do you have here?
Marie's a Libra, and she's wondering if says spirit gifts as life work. Is there any success for me there?
Marie is a Libra, and she says that she wants to know if there is success for her in light work.
Spirit gifts as life work, yes.
Spirit gives?
Yes. Gifts.
Oh, gifts. Oh, spiritual gifts. Well, everybody has them. There's no such thing as gifts. Everybody has it. Most of us are blocked. So it has a lot to do with your determination, your commitment to unblock yourself. But what I am seeing with you is a strong drive that comes from a past life where you would have been doing healing directly with the people through hands and what seems to be medicinal herbs, medicine, food as medicine, things like this. It also seems like you want to learn more about energy working through the body, but also the movement of the body. So that could be like exercise, anything like that, yoga. It could be more hands-on healing too, like Reiki and psychic surgeries, things like that. What I'm feeling with you though for a while is don't focus on the communication part of it. So you want to kind of put that on the back burner. It's like stay silent, they're telling me. Stay quiet and observe. Be an observer. I also feel like don't push it. Don't push it. There's a natural flow. And if you don't allow yourself to get burnt out, is a good way to say that.
Mm-hmm.
What is she, a Libra?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you
And
do?
right now, like the full moon is in her 12th house of spirituality, so there is some kind of culmination there. So she's headed in the right direction. She's feeling the right things, that she should be moving more towards spiritual matters. And I think, like you said, more healing type.
Yeah, the healing areas.
Yeah. So that definitely fits for what she's, what she's doing. Maybe make a plan, but like maybe I was thinking like law of attraction type thing. Write it out and goals, and see where that takes her.
I love that. Yeah, write it out. Less of a pacifist type of an attitude. Do I have these gifts? Is the universe going to give it to me? It doesn't really work that way. So we all light workers, and we are.
And the answer is yes. You have
absolutely, but make your determination of what you want to do. What's really going on with you right now is you do need to look into that past life, and you need to figure out how that's affecting. I do past life readings. You don't have to go through hypnosis. You can talk to your Akashic record guide and do a meditation. You can just tap into your higher mind and go back there and figure out who exactly you were, what exactly you were doing, and what's unfinished in this life. Once that's completed, it's very easy for you to move forward.
That makes sense with the 12th house full moon too, that would be coming to light, so that makes sense.
Okay, good. We have another one?
Yes. Sam is a Scorpio, and she just wants to know what's the most compatible sign that she should have a child with.
We decided this week, right? High five, that we want to do a show all about that.
We are going to do a show.
Soulmates, who or whatever, have babies with. I mean, whatever's going to work, but basically relationships. So that's a show that's coming up. How fun. Okay. So Sam, Scorpio, who should I have a baby with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can't just say one sign. There's many signs that are compatible with Scorpio.
I'm feeling Pisces for her though.
Okay. That would trine. So yeah.
Okay.
That would work.
I'm feeling a Virgo too. I don't
That
know.
also works.
Would that work?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. I feel like avoid Leo. I feel a butting of heads. I don't know what that means, but
Makes sense.
taking time away from the baby, let's say. Okay, because there's too much of this going on that should not be happening. I feel like they could work with Capricorn, but I feel like it's a little dragging weight, the other person. So I would stick with the first two, in my opinion. What works?
You kill me, but you're so psychic. Anyway.
It's like I'm psychic.
It's like you're psychic or something. No, like Scorpio's a water sign, so it's gonna do well with earth signs, which would be Virgo, Capricorn, it's gonna work with any earth sign, it's gonna work with any other water sign. So
Okay.
take your pick, So you're right. You're absolutely right.
How fun.
And
I
then
love
fire,
that.
Leo was the fire. Fire
Oh,
and water.
right.
Fire puts water out. Water puts fire out. So you know what I mean?
Yes, and that's huge.
Makes
That's
sense.
something we look forward to talking about. Is like you don't want to be with a sign that's going to put you out.
Yes.
Okay, we don't want one suppressing the other, and then that becomes the forefront of the problems all the time. You can't get to the fun stuff like raising the baby. So congratulations.
Taurus also works. That's the other sign.
I love Taurus. They're so easygoing.
Yeah.
So much of the time, really are. Okay, great. We want to take another one. Okay, we're gonna go over here.
Okay, so next we have Leo. Okay, so full moon on the 1st happens in the zone where you make your money. So expect a culmination or a new cycle or feeling in this area. So how you make your money, what drives your money, how you earn your living. On the 4th, the sun meets Neptune, making you psychic, and maybe wanting to escape from reality. So us Leos have been having a lot of psychic moments lately. Hang in there. It is very illusionary when Neptune is involved, so keep that in mind. What you think you are looking at might not be reality, so wait it out a little bit. There's a lot of Neptune going on. Sun will be with Neptune. Sun is our ruler, so when Neptune's there, things get a little confusing. They get a little bit foggy. They might seem a little better than they are, so you might just want to wait a few days. Just make sure that you're looking at the right, thing. Wait it out a little bit. On the 6th, Venus goes into your adventure zone, making long distance love or travel a focus. And I know for me, travel's been a focus. Jupiter stations retro March 8th in your 4th house, forcing you to look at past family stuff that hasn't really gone away. Just kind of hung out, but now it's kind of coming up again. You are feeling powerful on the 11th in your daily life. Like maybe you feel like you are finally getting it together with daily tasks or health. On the 13th, you're enjoying your family and appreciating the good there. On the 22nd, Mercury goes retrograde in the house of adventure. So this is the same part where the travel is. So you might be hearing something from the past, or somebody gets in touch. If you are traveling at that time, just allow for extra time because things might get a little hairy when you're traveling during Mercury retrograde.
Okay, right.
On the 25th, the Sun squares Mars, making you frustrated with your daily life and on the defensive. This could cause you to book a trip to escape. That would be me. The Sun squares Saturn on the 29th, leaving you feeling frustrated. That should come to a head on the 31st when the Moon is in Libra and brings you some news. Maybe about a sibling, maybe not. It could be about also the house of communications. There's going to be like some kind of message coming for you at the end of the month. But so it's a very maybe a little confusion, but a little bit of like
That's what it sounds like.
fantasy, but also adventure. Like go on an adventure if you get the opportunity.
Maybe things need to be clouded from time to time so that people, go and do what they really want to do.
It happens. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny that you could see things through rose-colored glasses and they're really not, just that way out of the blue for a while. Okay, so what's the next one?
Virgo.
Virgo.
So the full moon happens in the 1st house of self. Therefore, you will be seeing yourself differently, or maybe changing some things about how others see you. Mercury and Venus both move into Aries on the 6th and could have you finding out a secret or some hidden information. This could also have you seriously thinking of investing your money. Mercury goes retrograde from the 22nd until April 15th, so any contract should be signed before or after that. March 8th, Jupiter stations retrograde in your communications and short trip zone. So this could have you looking at the past in these areas, maybe sparking you to think about learning more, because this is like the area of taking like classes, but not like long-term classes, like short, like community education.
Add something here.
Yeah. Something, exactly, like a skill. March 17th is the new moon in Pisces. So this means a new cycle or a beginning in a relationship or partnership. It could mean some fun is attached to that, and it makes you very energetic, so make the most of that. And on the 31st, the moon in Libra might bring you some news on a money matter.
Okay, cute. So again, Virgo, highly affected by Mercury in retrograde, as is Gemini, because we're both ruled by Mercury. And when is this retrograde again?
The retrograde, the 22nd to the 15th of April.
Jeez. Okay. And you said don't sign contracts until after that.
Yeah, before or after, just not during.
Okay, just not during.
If you can help it. I mean, obviously, like if there's a deadline and you can't, you know what I mean? Like there's those times where you just have to kind of.
Yeah, right. I mean, like don't throw everything, to the wind, but be mindful.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Do we have
Yes.
something here?
Leah is in Aries. She said she's had changes in relationship and career recently. Just wants to know if things will get better soon.
Leah, an Aries, changes in relationship and career.
Right.
Will it get better? I immediately, when I said that, I had a work guide step in behind me who's making me feel like, almost like he took my head and made me focus on something. So I feel overwhelmingly that what you need to do is just stay focused on what it is that you want. I was like, stay focused on what? What am I just on being positive or just, what? But it feels to me like when I'm really looking at this thing in front of me, it's what do I want? What am I trying to create? What is it that I want to be? What is it that I want my life to be? And then I just see like a paintbrush and an easel and you creating this in whatever way is going to fit. I also see you potentially going out of town. So whether you're actually just going out of town or you're hearing things from out of town in such a sense that you're being presented with other opportunities. I want to say that sometimes where you live and the opportunities that are right here around you can be small compared to the bigger world, and you might need to look outside of the box type of a thinking. So whether you're traveling or the universe is just presenting it to you from other places, you might want to start doing some examination on that, okay? But yeah, I feel some breakthroughs if you can do that successfully. It also feels like good news coming in the third week, the beginning of the third week, I think it is, and then quiet for the rest of the week, and then it coming up again like for the end of the week. So you might hear of an opportunity and then think it dissolved itself. Don't get defeated. It's almost like it's a bit of a test. It's kept underground, and then it comes up again at the end of the week. What are you getting with this?
Well, with Aries right now, like they have Saturn in their 10th house, so like if they're not at their calling, it will kick them out of there. So
if she's not pursuing her calling,
what she's supposed to be doing, so that'll kick her right out. Like, so it'll be hard. But right now is like a time where Aries is going to work really hard to get the recognition and payoff later. So it is very tiring, and there's just a lot of work involved. But and it might even be like a boss that's really tough on you or something like that. But if you are going in the right path, it will get easier. Relationship changes, I think she said she had.
She said relationship changes?
Yes.
So I think there might be like, I don't know, I think that Jupiter is going into their 8th, so I think that like there might be a merging there of some kind of relationship, but there also could be like a break and then a merge. I don't know, what are you getting there?
Kind of that. I almost forgot to even address that because it was someone staring at you is the way it came to me. So like while you were focused and your work guide was like making me look at this thing, there was somebody standing there staring at you the whole time, and I just kind of ignored it. So my interpretation of that is that it would be best for you to not focus there, let relationships fall where they may. I feel almost like sometimes you just need to ignore things. You just need to kind of let it dissolve, let it do what it's going to do. Almost sort of like keeping your mouth shut or focusing on your own self and your goals. Mm-hmm. Don't be rude. I feel like don't cut them off, but also just take it real easy. Stay in your yard.
Yeah, it almost feels like it falls into place like later.
It's just not time for that right now to be like, I need to find resolution in this relationship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. We have another one?
Yes. Lynette is a Capricorn, and she wants to know if she'll find true love anytime soon.
Lynette is a Capricorn, true love anytime soon. I keep seeing 3 months over here to the right, so this is going to be destiny charted future. I don't, you'll have to tune back in maybe in 3 months, right? Or for the relationship show, but that's coming up over here, and I am feeling some Taurus, or I'm supposed to say Taurus, that never happens, so I guess because you're sitting here, I'm feeling some Taurus energy connected to that. Sometimes when I see signs, it's not literal, like Christina would be able to tell you literal, but what Taurus represents to me is someone who's stable, giving, sort of fun-loving, always looking for the humor in things, always being able to bring the silver lining on a cloud. Someone you can count on, but I feel like where you've been in your past, you've been over-giving, and we want you to cut that off. So make sure you're doing everything in balance. The funny thing is, it's almost like once you learn to do it in balance, you get this great loving person. So whether they're a Taurus or it's some other sign, they have that type of personality to give to you, almost like you earned it. And that's going to be a wonderful thing. okay? But you have to do this first. And I also want to say, don't try too hard. A lot of people like to say, what are you looking for? Take on an attitude of like, I'm not looking for anything, but I'm not closed to anything either. So I think stop looking is how that feels.
Yeah, there's a lot of rebirth for Capricorn as well. So
Okay.
you know, like they becoming something new. So what was the? Can we repeat the question?
They'll like find true love anytime soon.
Okay, so I feel like it's down the road,
Mhm.
maybe later in the year. Did you have a time frame on that?
I feel this approaching in the next 3 months, but it's also dependent upon her learning these lessons.
Yeah.
So that's what we call free will. Like you can't necessarily have that until you've done your part, and it really is very different than what she's ever done. So
I think working on like Capricorn right now, they would have both Pluto and Saturn there. So working on the self, renewing the self, is basically what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And then once you have that package, then you're able to commit yourself to love.
right. Yeah, so right now it's quiet, but 3 months down the road, the potential for it will start to come into your energy. Again, free will, because if that's not a completed cycle, it will just do right past you until you're ready. So, but yeah, lots of potential there, for sure. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Reciprocity,
And
reciprocity.
being happy with yourself.
Be happy with yourself. That way you don't like overgive and get nothing in return,
That's
you
right.
know? Yeah. We have another one?
Yes. Paula says her mom has been struggling with pain lately. Do you see it getting any better for her? She posted a sign separately. Her mom is a Gemini.
So Paul is asking about her mom who's in pain. Her mother is a Gemini.
Yes.
I keep feeling a lot of tension in the jaw, tension in the teeth, tension in the mouth. That can represent a really stressful situation on the body. I'm feeling pain going up through the neck and into the head, and almost what's like a cloudiness in the thinking or like a dizziness. So I definitely feel like she's dealing with some stuff. My interpretation when I jumped in your mom's energy was that I want to say there are lessons about endurance and patience and her staying in the present moment, okay, finding opportunities to still have peace and joy and comfort even in the midst of the storm. So that's part of what's going on with her lessons. It feels to me like a doctor coming in. Now that's going to represent, and I can't prescribe diagnose, but that's going to represent traditional medical science. It does feel somebody coming in with some kind of relief. And I want to say 3, so 3 weeks to 3 months out, that's coming in. And I feel like this person's kind of careless. They're just sort of throwing it out there. There's not a lot of emotion there. And it would be up to your mother as to whether or not she took that advice. It seems like at the time you might want to kind of step in and pay attention because she might be a little clouded by then. But yeah, there's the opportunity for some relief.
Yeah, Jupiter right now for Geminis would be like in their like everyday life and health sector. So sometimes when Jupiter comes, it blows things up, so the pain might be more intense right now.
Oh.
But Jupiter ultimately is, a benefit planet. So, just make sure you're making sure you get the underlying cause of it, because, and then you can start to heal it. But it does seem like there is relief coming down the road, but just make sure that there's no other underlying cause of, no heart issues or anything like that. And then it feels like once they realize what it is, it does seem to, relieve or get better, slow down. I don't know.
That's so crazy. You're saying that like the planet of Jupiter can cause Jupiter being in retrograde can cause an increase in physical pain and discomfort.
Either way, it can just it's in their house of health right now, so it can blow things out of even bad things. It can make them bigger.
Right.
Like pay attention to me kind of thing.
Okay.
But ultimately, Jupiter is a good, benefit
planet.
So hopefully, look at me, look what the root cause is, find it out, and then it will dissipate.
Well, that explains what I was saying with the doctor coming in too, and just kind of quickly spitting it out. And then are we listening? That's how I felt about it. Like, is she going to be listening? You know, you might want to be there with her. Interesting stuff. Okay.
Bobby is a Cancer. Just wondering if there's any big changes coming up for him.
Bobby.
Okay,
he's a Cancer. Are there any big changes coming up for him? And I know we need to wrap up the show, and we have a bunch of other signs that we need to get to. So, let's see what else we're getting with this. Okay. I'm feeling some work opportunities coming up for you, and I'm also feeling like things from your past that maybe you weren't able to use. So whether it's old training, it's old work, it's old education, it's stuff that you've had under your belt, it feels like that's going to be coming up.
Yeah, I would say like good relationship things are coming. Work-wise, I would say that yeah, I mean, like any creative projects, anything like that, it's a good time for that.
That's kind of what it felt like, was more fun. More fun with that? Okay, so some outlets for sure. I almost felt like coaching or something. Yeah. Okay, so we have a few more signs to get to, then we're probably going to wrap it up.
Okay, so we have Libra.
Okay.
We're going to do Libra, right? The new moon on the 1st starts with a positive for you, perhaps positive energy on a work or money matter. However, the full moon will be in your 12th house of spirituality, so it might prove to be a spiritual culmination for you. But there is also a possibility of hidden enemies being revealed. Something you didn't see before might become clear now. Venus moves into your relationship zone in the 6th, bringing some passion to that area of your life. Jupiter retrogrades in the area of money making, which could have you looking back to the past on things about how to improve your self-worth or money you make, or both. Mercury stations retrograde in the relationship zone, so you might hear from an ex or something. Something comes to light about a past relationship, perhaps. Venus squares Pluto on the 23rd, which brings a frustration in your love life. The 28th might bring an unexpected turn in this area of your life as well. The full moon on the sign of your 31st, brings an ending of a cycle of how you see yourself or how others see you. It's a big month of emotions and possibly drama for Libra.
Okay, that's what it sounds like. That's a lot of drama. People from the past coming in and causing complications.
So
Otherwise,
you're ready, Libra.
Alright.
So we have Scorpio.
Scorpio.
This month starts for you with a culmination in your creative or romantic fun zone. So there will be an emotional high that involves an ending connected to this area. The moon squaring Pluto on the 4th might involve a frustrating communication, but it looks like it blows over by the 6th. The same day, Venus moves into your daily house of routine on bringing more passion and pleasure to your daily tasks that are otherwise usually pretty boring. Jupiter stationing retrograde is a big deal because it's in your sign. On the 8th, this will have you looking at yourself, turning inward, looking at the past for answers for what makes you happy now, and how you want to see yourself and how you want others to see you. The new moon on the 17th will have you starting a new cycle on a creative project or in a romance. Whatever it is, it will be exciting and emotional. The 22nd has Mercury stationing retrograde until about April 15th in your daily life. So watch out for frustrations in every day. Even though you're getting this nice energy in, you might have some communication issues there going on. There could be, Venus makes a square to your ruler on the 23rd, so there could be a clash with someone with a difference of opinion with a loved one that frustrates you. The full moon on the 31st happens in the 12th, so there might be some news about something that was previously hidden, or you could even have just a nice spiritual experience. Look for synchronicity, signs from above, dreams. Don't dismiss those. So.
Good.
Can you keep going?
Yeah. How many more do we have?
We have Sag.
And Aquarius.
Yeah.
Okay, just keep rolling.
Alright, so Sag. The month starts with a trine to your ruler, which is very happy and feel-good spiritual energy for Sag. This moon happens in your family and real estate zones. Therefore, there's an issue coming to a head there for you. A cycle is ending there. There's an emotional high connected with an ending of some kind. Mercury trines Jupiter the next day, so you might get some good news about a situation related to the full moon.
I keep seeing vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
cars,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
some change with, yeah.
On the 6th, Venus goes into your creative and romance zone, heating up that area and bringing passion. Jupiter, your chart ruler, goes into retrograde on the 8th. It means you will be reflecting on hidden manners or spiritual matters. You will think about what brings you happiness and what might bring some deep psychological stuff with it. So you might stumble over some of those deep psychological issues. Mercury goes retrograde in your creative and romantic zone on the 22nd, so make sure that you double check communication with romantic partners. Or you could hear from an old love, that's always a possibility. Things could be unclear here. The full moon on the 11th, the house of acquaintances, hopes and dreams and wishes has others noticing you. There'll be a cycle of ending here. It's a kind of a spiritual year for Sag, so
Okay.
they'll be thinking a lot about that spirituality.
I was gonna say that I kept seeing the change to the vehicles, and then I was feeling like development with that. Like finally, maybe a lot of Sages facing for the first time that they have psychic ability, that they should be paying more attention to their intuition, their premonitions, their visions, giving it more validity. Good.
Very nice. Capricorn. So finally, we're on Capricorn. A lot of Capricorns asking questions.
Yeah, a lot of Caps.
The month starts out with a full moon in your 9th house of adventure and travels, also legal and higher education. There'll be some kind of culmination or ending cycle. It's also philosophies, higher ed, things like that. So some kind of culmination there. It looks like it's beneficial. On the 6th, Venus will enter your 4th house of family, bringing a loving and passionate vibe with her. Much of your energy is focused here during the month, so big focus on family. The 8th is when Jupiter stations retrograde in your area of groups, hopes, wishes, and dreams. This will prompt you to go within and reflect on what and who will make you happy in the future. So someone with the relationship problems, they're going to be reflecting on those.
Good.
March 11th, Mercury squares your ruler, which might mean that you have tense words with someone in your family zone. Things tense up again on the 13th, but smooth out by the 15th. The new moon on the 17th will start a new cycle in the area of communication, learning, or siblings. On the 22nd, Mercury goes retrograde. You might be reflecting on communication issues within the family and letting something go. Do not sign any contracts, agreements until after the 15th. On the 28th, Venus conjuncts Uranus in the same area, possibly bringing an unexpected surprise. The full moon on the end of the month will happen in your zone of career status. There could be opportunities here. There might be an emotional high point or a cycle ending in that area. We have 2 more. We have Aquarius. Aquarius this month starts out with an intense full moon in your 8th house of secret sex, taxes, and other people's money.
Secrets, sex, taxes, and cash. Interesting.
So that's where their full moon is. There could be a culmination here with money matters, or perhaps even some secrets that come forward to make you look at a situation differently and go deep with it. Venus and Mercury will move into Aries on the 6th in your 3rd house, so expect some passionate communications in your life. It's a good time to communicate what you are feeling. Jupiter goes retrograde on the 8th in your house of status and career. This could have you reflecting on changes you want to make in this area of your life. What is blessing you and what is not. The 11th has Mars trine your chart ruler, and that means you'll have an energy surge, which maybe might get you motivated to get out of the house and enjoy yourself within the community of friends, even a project of some kind. On the 17th is a new moon in your house of money matters, so again, there might be a new cycle beginning there, and more is like stabilizing here. Mercury goes retrograde, so have your plans finalized before that. Watch your words. On the 28th, Venus will conjunct Uranus, so that could be a pleasant romantic shift or surprise. Finally, the full moon goes on the 31st, goes into your adventure zone. So your philosophies could be changing and new beliefs could come forth for Aquarius.
Aquarius has a lot going on.
Yeah, they do.
That's kind of fun. Okay.
And last but not least, of course, our Pisces. You're coming off an emotional month, and some of the Pisces had communicated that things were very emotional.
Right.
So we have a lot of planets in Pisces right now. Many planets are dominating Pisces, which may have meant a lot of passion in February. A lot of emotional ups and downs, probably. A full moon in your opposite sign will have you coming to a culmination or realization in a relationship matter. there will be something important and empowering that you need to say attached to the relationship. You will make a decision and move forward with that decision that you make. With Venus trine Jupiter at the same time, you might decide to go on a trip or plan a romantic adventure. Venus and Mercury will move into your second house on the 6th. Expect some talk about finances. Make sure that any money matters are hammered out before the 22nd when Mercury goes retro. Jupiter stations retro in the 9th house, making you reflect on past adventures and philosophies or beliefs, and deciding which philosophies you will take with you into the future. There could be a real shift there. March 17th is the new moon in your sign. This could have you starting a new cycle on how you see yourself and how others see you. Maybe you will change your looks or start a new exercise regimen, but whatever it is, it's a new version of you. The full moon on the 31st happens in your other people's money, sex, or secret zones. It expects something to come to a culmination or conclusion, and be careful because there's jealousy attached to it possibly, and it could be intense. So this could be attached to some kind of news with a romantic partner.
Interesting. I know some Pisces who completely redid their hair, who are talking about different religious concepts I've never heard them talk about before, or dealing with job change. That's interesting.
And some interesting shifts in relationships too, a little bit too.
For sure.
Some drama.
New friends, letting go of old things, letting go of old friends. Yeah, for sure.
So March pretty much for everybody is an emotional month.
Okay.
With a lot of changes and things going on. So.
For sure. There definitely has been. Everybody hang on. Okay?
It'll all work out.
There are always more changes to come. And any kind of shifting with the planets, any kind of changes that are presented to us, or even things that cause discomfort, it gives us a new opportunity to re-examine things and create something better.
It's all lessons that we have to learn.
Always lessons.
Our souls decided this many years ago when we were here.
That's right.
That's what we came in to learn. So.
That's right. People like to think of, the purpose of being here is to be happy. We want to have a happy life. We want to enjoy ourselves. Not really. This is a classroom. You came to Earth. You signed contracts, and you have deadlines. You have lessons that need to be learned, and the Earth is preparing you for those lessons, giving you an outlet to do that. That's the atmosphere that goes on here. So don't try to escape it. Just go with it.
And the planets, they force us to do it. They force us to learn. The energy pushes us.
So it's really good.
You can't help it. You have free will, but the energy ultimately pushes you to learn the lesson.
That's all it is. That's all it ever breaks down to.
Yeah.
Some upcoming classes, we have Crystals 101, we have Crystals and Healings, Hauntings, Clearings, and Attachments, Coffee with Your Angels, Reiki training, Dreams class with Astro Travel. We have Tarot with Christina Del Rey. She will train you in the traditional method as well as the intuitive method so that you can still open up to mediumship and things like that. That's coming up. Relationships, boundaries, and cord cutting, and astrology, a 6-week course coming up again with Christina Del Rey, more into the summer. So check us out, Ivy League Psychic Academy, and I am Ivy Rivera, Psychic Medium. You can go onto my website if you want to book a reading with me. Where can they find you?
They can message me on Facebook, Christina Del Rey.
Okay, so join us here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy in the future, where we are raising up the next generation